So good morning, Manav Rachna. So I used to be one of you only sitting here. So being here on stage today, it just gives me a lot of nostalgia, takes me back to my olden college days. So are you all ready? Yes? Not bored? Sure? Shall we start? Great. So, okay, today's topic, very interesting. Bureaucracy to bites. Let's understand how leadership has transformed over the years in India. I feel that, nowadays it is all about youth empowerment. We want to see young CEOs in the companies. We want to see young leaders taking charge, and we want them to inspire and grow others under them. Um, so, what do you think leadership will look like 10 years from now? Do you think it will be a seasoned bureaucrat commanding from a corner office? Or do you think it's going to be algorithm fine tuning our decisions in real time? Well, let's think over it. Of course, we know the transformation has taken over and it's now all about humans and technology. So let's understand how seasoned bureaucracy worked. Typical bosses sitting in their office cabin, not stepping out and meeting people in the office, not even knowing half of the people working in their team at the ground level, their names, their faces, tons and tons of files to sign, and having a confidentiality sticker on the files, and yet having high chances of the files to get misplaced. Well, I think from there to where we are today, we have seen a major transformation, of course, thanks to digitalization. But the COVID era saw a major transformation in leadership, and especially for women. I have always stood up for women empowerment, which means that one empowered woman can empower multiple other women by constant support and help. So, what happened during COVID? It gave an excellent opportunity to people to work from home, which was a boom for women because majorly we saw that women leaders faced a huge challenge because of maternity leaves or their pregnancy, which actually led to a lot of women facing fertility issues also because they were delaying their journey into parenting due to those reasons. But work from home gave an excellent opportunity to women to actually remotely work and yet continue their leadership roles. So I have seen more women stepping into leadership roles over the years. And for me, what will make me happy is when I see in the future leadership more women taking over leadership roles as compared to men. Also, we see a lot of young people getting an opportunity to join as interns in big organizations and offices where they get an opportunity to learn, which I don't think we saw 10 or 20 years back from now. Now, most importantly, it is not only about learning opportunity for kids, but it is also about top leaders getting an opportunity to get young and fresh ideas. And that is youth empowerment. So, how many of you sitting here actually have plans of where to intern in summers, which programs or workshops to join apart from your regular college? That is something which is going to bring out more leadership skills in each one of you sitting over here. It's no longer about completing your graduation degree from a college and stepping out into the real world if you aspire to be a big leader. It is about polishing your skills. It is about grooming yourself. It is about preparing yourself for the real world outside. True leadership or real leadership in today's time is dynamic. It's aggressive. It is about empathy. It is not only about IQ, it is also about EQ. It is about flexibility, adaptability. It is not only about teaching, it is also about learning from your juniors. So, in today's time, we see that leadership has transformed majorly. But what are the key elements that I would like to share with you all, which will help you all for your future as well? Now, most important, please ensure that you have a real inspiration in your life. You should have a role model. It helps you to follow their footsteps and it also helps you to be where they are. So, number one is feedbacks. True leaders or dynamic leaders nowadays are working on constant feedback mechanisms. Excellent example here is Google reviews. Big leaders of companies are actually constantly ensuring that they monitor the Google reviews and utilize it for service improvement, which means there is always scope for improvement in no matter what we are doing. That's how companies grow at a faster rate. Also, being actively available on social media. Here I'm going to give an example of public immediately going and posting on Twitter or LinkedIn when they face service issue, product issues. I'm just going to give an example of recently seeing so many airlines getting delayed for 5 to 6 hours at the airport and customers going and tagging these airline companies on social media and complaining. Well, the way the social media is moving so fast nowadays, so does the leader has to. So, leadership also means you upgrading your skills because we know it is all about technology. So, you have to be very, very tech savvy. Also, reviews, rewards, and recognitions. Dynamic leaders and true leaders these days understand that true talent has to be recognized at the right time so that they stay loyal to the leader and to the company. Employee loyalty is a big challenge these days because there are so many organizations up in the market, and we know that definitely biggest challenge nowadays is resilience. So people keep switching jobs. Hence, for a good or a dynamic leader, it is important for them to make sure that they retain the good talent in the company. So, rewards recognitions is quite strong. Also, regular reviews to ensure that you understand what is happening in the organization. You're able to take the corrective measures at the right time to enhance the output of the team, of the company, and to grow the company at a faster rate. So, how many of you agree? I see a lot of hand raises here. Also, we know everyone has been talking about AI. Now, AI has transformed everything. And if I say 10 years from now, we see more of technology and probably lesser of humans. How AI is going to help leadership? Of course, better efficiency, more creativity, more personalization with employees, more accuracy in terms of data, which is overall definitely going to give faster growth to leaders and to companies. Also, if we talk about digitalization, we have also seen women getting a superb opportunity to grow their online businesses and to create more startups. So, we have definitely seen more women entering into the startup industry and emerging as leaders. If we talk about data, we all know every data matters. For dynamic leaders or for future leadership, it is going to be about data analysis and data tracking. Daily dashboards, daily reports, understanding how the business is performing, how the team is performing, and how to take corrective measures so that the company grows at a very, very fast rate. And of course, so does the leader and the team. Also, trainings and workshops to ensure that employees are getting regularly trained because it's not only about them entering the organization and working there, it is about their personal growth as well, which matters for a good dynamic leader. Creating more leaders under them by arranging more leadership workshops, which will help a dynamic leader to make 10 more leaders under him. Also, people like Tata and Ambani would have not been able to create their empires if they had not created more leaders under them and had they not gotten more teamwork, which comes by team efforts. Single successful person never exists. There's always a team standing behind him or her who is responsible for the success of that one leader. If we see availability and accessibility, if we look at the olden days, leaders were not accessible, available. Why? Because a standard mandate hierarchy was followed. But dynamic leaders, today or tomorrow, they understand that they need to be available and accessible for the team for faster decision making and for less damage in terms of services or product delivery or customer satisfaction. Also, networking. You need to learn and inspire others and also get inspired by others. So, networking with more leaders, with people who have started startups, understanding their journey, their story, their failures, their success, and understanding what not to do and what to do. Also, if we understand the leadership, not just today, but for tomorrow, it is also going to be all about robotics. I'm going to give a classic example here of healthcare, since I belong to healthcare. Doctors or CEOs of big healthcare companies have understood that the future is about robotics. Investing into the right machines, the right equipments at the right time, and training the employees to ensure that we are future ready is also a key element here. Good companies or good hospitals and healthcare organizations have invested into huge robots and have trained their doctors to do robotic surgeries, which helps in faster recovery, of course. They know the future is going to be all about robotics. So, dynamic leaders understand on making the right investments, on upgrading their employees and themselves, and ensuring that they are future ready. If I talk about the health of dynamic leaders or tomorrow's leadership, if you're not healthy, if you're not fittest, you cannot survive. It's a competitive market. You need to take care of your own fitness as well. We definitely see dynamic leaders focusing more on their own health so that there's more attendance and they're able to set good examples for their own teams. How many of you here take care of your own health? That's the first step towards leadership. Become the leader of your own body. If you cannot take care of your own body and be your own leader, you cannot step into the leadership world. So from today itself, all of you start performing as leaders on daily basis by taking charge of your own body, of your own life, of your own goals, of your own dreams. Pursue your passion, not your dream. Be the best in whatever you choose to do. Don't be amongst the crowd. Step out, step up so that you get recognized and you can inspire others with your own story. Also important, which I feel for good leadership or dynamic leadership for future, is about being aggressive. Don't sit in one corner, don't sit in one place. No, don't make your life boring. Be aggressive, be dynamic, keep moving, keep thinking. Don't let your mind rest, so that you always think of what next. And when you think of what next, you will grow yourself, you will grow your career, and you will also grow your organization. So, four C's, which I think are very, very important as a takeaway message here. One is collaboration. Collaboration always gives better opportunities for leaders to grow and for the company to grow. Here I'm going to give an example of Tesla and Panasonic. Tesla decided to collaborate with Panasonic for lithium batteries, which can be used for electric cars. And that's how Tesla was able to get future ready. Also, I'm going to give another example here. If we look at time over the years with AI and technology, people want faster services, faster delivery. So from a 30-minute pizza delivery, we have actually reached an era where we have a delivery within 8 minutes through Blinkit. But Blinkit actually thought of collaboration to not just provide services or products, but to give emergency services for healthcare. So do you know that Blinkit has recently collaborated with an emergency startup to provide ambulance service within 8 minutes, which no one could have imagined in India earlier, considering the traffic. So how collaboration can actually work in a good way for leaders to think out of the box, to think different, and to create new ideas and new ventures. Second is curiosity. Always be curious about what, how, why, when, where. Here I'm going to give an example. For curiosity is Geo. Geo thought of providing low-cost data to everybody in India. If we look at how data used to be so expensive back then, of course, Geo changed the game in the market. Third is courage. Have the courage to experiment, to do something different, to think out of the box. Here I'm going to give an example of Tata Nano. Nobody could have imagined that any second person who's making money or who's from a regular background or regular job can actually think of owning a car. It definitely brought a revolution in the market. And if these people can, anybody can. Communication. Strong communication for a dynamic leader is important. And when I say communication, it's not just a one way communication, not about how a leader speaks, but how the leader listens, which is a two-way communication. So when it comes to the juniors or the team, a dynamic leader is not just going to speak, but also going to listen to what the challenges the team has and how a leader can help the team to overcome those challenges. So I feel that all young individuals sitting here, you need to make yourself future ready. Everyone has the talent to become a leader. You just need to identify your own self, your own skills, and constantly keep working on it. Every day is a learning. We should never give up on learning. And this is the age, or this is the time for you where you can give your maximum best into learning, because right now you don't have other responsibilities to take care of. But as you grow into your later age, you will have 10 more responsibilities to manage. And then it will become more difficult for you to invest your 100% into learning. So utilize this time, this age of yours, to not just to learn what you're learning in your university or in college, but keep constantly looking for opportunities to learn more. Enroll for more certifications, more courses, internship programs, workshops, of course, more events and conferences where you can go and learn, and also learn from each other. Help each other. A true leader, a dynamic leader, is always going to be somebody who's there to help out the team. And that is something that begins now. That how helpful you are towards others. Do you show empathy? Do you show adaptability? How good is your EQ? It's not only about IQ anymore. Are you able to be there for others in their emotional needs? We know how mental health is important. And definitely, if we talk of tomorrow's leadership, we understand there are going to be people probably emerging with more mental health issues also. And hence, a true leader or a dynamic leader will ensure that he or she is there to support the mental health issues of the employees and the team. And definitely, we see now also a lot of leaders and organizations having their own in house psychologists and counselors and doing regular sessions on mental health for their staff and employees. So, overall, let's start with focusing yourself first, people around you, and preparing yourself for future. So I wish everyone here all the best for your future. And I hope that I would get to see more and more people from here emerging as TEDx speakers and sharing your stories with others later on. Thank you so much.